The miracle of God is in every atom of creation. How this body works is so astonishing. We just take it for granted. Likewise, behind creation is that infinitely intelligent Creator. And he says, know me to be the ability in humans. Supposing you don't realize that the ability is coming from somewhere and he puts the switch off, then the ability is withdrawn. Now you realize, my God, that energy is coming from him. Previously, Sri Krishna said that everything is a manifestation of his energies. So practically, he is everything that exists. And now he is illustrating it through graphic examples. So he says, in water, you can perceive me as the taste. The identifying quality of water is taste. It's very interesting, but solids, supposing you dry your tongue completely and place a solid, you will experience no taste. It is when your saliva melts or dissolves the solid that the taste comes. So taste is because of liquids, it is in liquids. Sri Krishna says, know me as that taste. And he says in the Vedic mantras, now the Vedic mantras are imbued with divine knowledge. They are the knowledge potency of God. And every Vedic mantra has a bij or a seed to it. Kling or Om, etc. Reem. Amongst these, the most popular is Om as the bij or the seed of the Vedic mantras. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. So the mantra is there, and the essence is coming out with the seed, which is the Om. So it's just a way of revealing his glories. Now you take one bowl of mashed potatoes and you add salt to it. Do you add one bowl of salt to it? No. You just add 1 teaspoon of salt and the taste comes up. It's not the quantity, but a little bit is adding the quality to it. So likewise, when you see some distinctive quality somewhere, know it to be the potency of God manifesting there. So for example, he says, Prabhasmi Shashi Suryayo. I am the radiance of the sun and the moon. Now the moon has such radiance, it lights up the night sky. But this radiance of the moon has been arranged by God from the sun. And how is the radiance coming in the sun? The energy being emitted is equal to millions of nuclear power plants working at the same time. Millions of nuclear power plants would emit those many billions of watts of energy every second. And it's all happening perfectly. Now we have heard of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. We've heard of the problems when the tsunami hit Japan and their nuclear plants got affected. And here it's going on since millions of years perfectly. How is that happening? So know that to be the glory of God manifesting. The miracle is taking place in every atom of creation. But we only need to open our eyes to see it. If we keep our eyes shut, we'll say it's just a big bang that created everything. One man, he was inspired to get a pet dog. So he went to the dog shop and he liked one dog and brought him home. Next day, he took his dog for a walk. And he had also learned that, you can, to give the dog a little thrill, you carry the ball and throw the ball and make the dog run and get it. So he threw the ball into the park, the dog ran and brought it, he threw it in the garden, the dog ran, and then there was a lake, he threw the ball into the lake. The dog started running on top of the water and retrieved the ball and brought it back. This guy could not believe his eyes. Am I seeing rightly? Ha! He took the ball and threw it again. The dog repeated. It was walking on the water, running. He tried a third time. Wow! I've got a miracle dog out here. So he wanted to impress or share his thrill with his neighbor. So he went and knocked at his neighbor's door and join me for a walk today. I've got a dog. So the neighbor also joined him. They started walking. And when they reached the lake, without telling the neighbor what the miracle was, he took the ball and threw it onto the lake. The dog ran as before, retrieved the ball and brought it back. He looked at his neighbor. The neighbor will be startled. But the neighbor didn't blink an eyelid. So he tried it again. Again the neighbor looked as if everything is normal. He tried it a third time. And finally, he could not control himself. He asked his neighbor, do you see this dog behaving a little strangely? The neighbor said, I see this stupid dog doesn't know how to swim. The miracle is happening right before his eyes, but if he doesn't want to see it, what to do? Likewise, the miracle of God is in every atom of creation. How this body works is so astonishing. We just take it for granted. 37 trillion cells. And every cell is like a universe. Now, biologists would go and they would study a cell for 10 years and still say that I don't know much about the cell. Because Francis Collins, who's presently the director of the National Institute of Health in Washington, he was also the head of the first human genome project. So the scientists of the world got together and created a team. And Francis Collins was the head of the team to decode the human genome. And after years of work, for the first time when it got decoded, that was the 1990s, so Bill Clinton took the stage to announce, along with Francis Collins, that we have now decoded. Nowadays it's done more easily, etc. That was the first time. And subsequently, Francis Collins wrote this book, Language of God. It just came into my hand, somebody gave it to me and I read it. He says that after this scientific success, now I should have been in a position to say that there is no God, we ourselves are playing God. However, my faith in God has only got enhanced. And why? The human genome is so complex, he says. If you start writing it on A4 size sheets, those sheets would stack up to the height of Washington Monument. And if you start reading at the rate of 3 syllables in a second, you would keep on reading for 31 years to complete it. And it's all packed in each of your 37 trillion cells. And it's all packed up like this. Now if you stretch it, the estimate is it will go to the sun and back 2 times. This is the complexity of this body. The best of scientists, they admit. Newton himself said at the end of his life that I was like a child playing with pebbles on the seashore while the whole undiscovered ocean lay in front of me. And how right future developments proved his statements to be. On the other hand, there's a whole body of scientists who just says that what we know is the absolute truth. There can be nothing beyond that. When I first started my discourses, preaching, dissemination of this knowledge, so I got into problems with my throat because I was speaking too loudly and the throat rebelled. So one satsangi took me, he said, this Nagpur Medical College, I was there at that time, their head of ENT, I know him and let me take you to him. So I went to him and he looked and he gave some tips. He said, you do this and you do that. And then I told him that, do you have a book that explains how this throat creates sound? He said, you are the first patient who has asked me this question. So he went and got out a big book and gave it to me. And I read the book. Now I'm talking of 35 years ago. So the book said that there are 2 theories of how these waves are created. One theory says that they are horizontal and the other says they are vertical. Now I am sure by now people may have come to know, but at that time they did not even know. So likewise, I ask doctors in any field, I ask an ophthalmologist, how much of the eye do you know? They say, Swamiji, at present we only know 4% of the eye. This is how complex this creation is. And this creation naturally hasn't come about by an accident. It is revealing the glory of its creator, if only we wish to use common sense. Now when people say, Swamiji, you were a man of science, how come you believe in God, such hocus pocus? I say, because I use my common sense. Now, this is only common sense. Now you say, don't use your common sense. Okay, but if you use a little bit of it, you say, my God, what an astonishing creation. It has a divine intellect behind it. Now you cannot say that, the works of William Shakespeare got created because of a big bang in a typewriter shop. In the olden days, we used to have those typewriters where you had to press the keys. And it had the rider, so then you had to put it back again and cut. So it used to be called a typewriter shop. You go there, I need this to be typed. So somebody says that last night there was an explosion in my typewriter shop. So by chance the right keys kept getting pressed. And when the whole the line got complete, by chance the rider returned to its original place. And then again by chance those keep getting pressed. And then when the whole paper was complete, by chance it flew off and another paper reached there by chance. And this continued happening by accident. In the morning when I arrived, then the complete works of William Shakespeare were stacked up there. Now even the biggest stretch of imagination cannot make that seem credible to us. Likewise, behind creation is that infinitely intelligent creator. So he is revealing to us through these verses how we can perceive his presence. And he says, know me to be the ability in humans. So we get these abilities to do something. And we say, oh my God. And then the ability, we say, supposing you don't realize that the ability is coming from somewhere, and he puts the switch off, then the ability is withdrawn. Now you realize, my God. So there's the story in the Vedas that in the Devasura Sangram, when the Devatas became proud, and Bhagavan manifested as a light, and Agni accosted him and said, who are you? So Bhagavan said, who are you? He said, I am Agni Dev. By my abilities, I can incinerate not just Yosemite Valley, the whole of this creation. So Bhagavan said, really? Bhagavan put a straw in front of him, a dried piece of grass. All right, burn this. So Agni looked at it and said, what kind of a joke is it? Burn this. So it's like telling, big khali that kill a mosquito. So Agni started increasing his temperature now to billions of degrees centigrade. And at that red heat, he moved forward and God switched off the power source. So Agni cooled down now, he's going towards absolute zero, saying, oh, who has turned off the heat? Give me some comforters, I'm feeling cold. The ability was withdrawn. Likewise, we all have this experience. God can enhance our abilities, withdraw it. That energy is coming from Him. Let's feel His presence in everything.